Hello, welcome to a video. I'm Otto, and today we're going to be looking at my commander decks that I have. At least the completed ones right now. So, I'll just go in order from left to right. So I'm going to take these ones out. Oh, is that a shot? One of my... Actually, no. It's not my first, but it's one of my, okay, this is Tibalt, Cosmic Imposter. The reason he can be your commander is because Valky is the other side, and he is a legendary creature. Is this center frame? No. Okay. And since Valky's legendary creature, he can be your commander. So basically the point of this deck is to... It doesn't do much in the start. You kind of sit there and wait until you can play him. So you kind of just try to ramp, get some blocks out that are good, like Death Touch and stuff, and then you get a little emblem. So I'll try to find some of the better cards in the deck, but he, the main goal is protect him, and then you want to board wipe, like we got Feast of Succession. You want to board wipe and do his ultimate, which is exile all cards from all graveyards at 3 mana, and then with this, it lets you play all the cards. And we got Tergrid, God of Fright also in here, because this, we have a lot of discard in this deck also. And we got some sack, because you're just trying to get cards into their graveyard, so you can do this ability. The +2, super solid. -3 if you're scared of an artifact or probably someone's commander. We got cards like Plague Wind. So what's special about this deck is I only bought 3 cards for it. Plague Wind is 1. Oh, wait, no, it might be 2 actually. So this deck is like basically all cards I got out of booster packs. There's barely any cards that I bought. The rest are from TCG Player, not sponsored. We got Massacre Girl, great card. There's basically always something with one, what is that called? Toughness, 1 toughness. Where is the other? Right, Angarox Wake. These 2 I bought. The rest I have owned these cards. We got Goldspan Dragon. This helps finish out the game after those board wipes. Lets you play all those cards with the mana that you get, and then it's 4/4 flying. Super useful. And Vargoth. This card lets you search for anything you want. Okay, no, I did buy 3. I bought Blasphemous Act also. So I bought 3 board wipes for this deck. The rest was just in my collection, or I traded my brother for it. And so these are board wipes, these are utility, and then these kind of help finish out the game. This is okay, let me do this. This is basically ultimate ability. So you just try to wipe board. This helps finish out the game. So does this card. And then this helps find your cards like Tergrid and Goldspan. Or your board wipes, if you don't have one in your hand. So it's a very solid deck, actually, for how inexpensive it was, I guess. Because everything that I needed, I think I spent a total of like $2 buying those 3 board wipes. And nobody comes at you at the start, because you don't do anything. And then you save up for Tibalt, you get some mini blockers with like Death Touch and stuff, you play him, you board wipe, you exile all graveyards, and it's super solid deck. And if I did upgrades to that, I think it would be one of my best decks. It's not at the moment, though. Then we have the Prismatic Bridge, and I love this deck. Let me get some of the better cards out. I only bought about half of this deck because I have a lot of these other cards, like these 3, all for my collection. I did buy Magmatic Force, amazing card. I think I bought 1 Planeswalker. There's only a couple more that are really good. So the other theme for this deck, other than just massive creatures, is kind of Monarch, I guess. There's a lot of Monarch cards that are just very solid, and these are all cards from my collection. Realm Laser. That's got to be one of the best cards for this deck. So when it comes into play, you remove all lands from the game. So if you have, and then when it leaves play, they come back tapped. But if you have the bridge out when you play that, it basically wins you the game. Because your bridge does not leave, but everyone else's stuff does. And you keep getting these massive creatures, and it just overwhelms them. Yeah, I'd say these are the best out of the deck. So most of the cards that are like really good actually came from my collection. All of these are from my collection, and these 2 are not. The Magmatic Force is also a very, very good card. These 2 are Monarch cards. This helps you stay alive. This wins. This just destroys other players in these games because it gives you all the mana to play out your hand, which is just massive creatures like this. This is very good. Not necessarily in this deck though. So I'm trying to find a blue-white deck for like control, because I got a lot of good control cards, but none of them are being used in the like correct way, I would say. So if you wanted to pause, you should go back like 10-20 seconds, pause, look at these cards. It's just big creature smash. You get all these guys out, and then just attack over and over again for the win. And again, that's another deck that I've made. And Jhoira, super fun deck. Super, super fun. Great card. Love the deck. It is my first deck also. So and it still works. The point of this deck is you want to get these artifacts, you keep playing them, you draw. You play one, you draw. And you do that over and over again. It's just Storm. And my collection cards. I have Jin-Gitaxias in here, because I've not made a commander deck off of him yet, because all his decks are super expensive. Normally my budget's $20-$30. And he is not in that range, but I threw him in this deck because I had him, and why not? You know, these 2. So main goal is play a bunch of artifacts, draw a bunch of cards. If you need to, we got Bosch. You get a bunch of mana from just all your ramp. You do Bosch's ability, and I guess you try to get lucky, because there's not a lot of big things in here. Another good way to win. Either of these work. Crackling Counterpart or Twin Flame. Twin Flame works better, in my opinion, because of the haste. So you get to attack that turn. These stay around longer though. There's my collection cards. We're almost through. I'm trying to find this one. Where is it? Grape Shot's good card. I've won with Grape Shot before by just drawing my whole deck, playing Elixir of Immortality, shuffling my graveyard back into my library, drawing like all of it again, and then Grape Shotting and just doing a bunch of damage to everyone. Where is... Here it is, Curiosity. Curiosity, Niv Mizzet, really good way to win. It's not an infinite combo, because you have to have cards in your deck, but you tap, draw a card, it deals 1 damage, and then when you deal damage to an opponent, you draw a card. You do that over and over again, and you draw your whole deck, and you kill everyone. Now, if that doesn't kill them, what you want to do is you want to get Elixir of Immortality. Do that, shuffle your graveyard into your library, and then do it again. And so that will win you games. Jin-Gitaxias and Teferi's Aegis Insight work super well together. Mechatitan Core. This is another win con. You exile it and your other artifacts, draw a bunch of cards, or not draw a bunch of cards, sorry. You get your 10/10. It also works well with Jin-Gitaxias, because then you could get 2. And then when those things die, if you have artifacts that will like enter the battlefield, you do blah blah blah. Or it's good against board wipes because you get that ramp back most likely, because you most likely want to exile either ramp or cards that are not useful in the part of the game that you're at yet. The deck's gotta be one of my best. Bridge, I would say Bridge and Joyra, definitely in top 5. Joyra, top 3. Now is Shoreikai. And now this is a precon. It is not the best. It's a very solid deck though for a precon, because you get these good cards. But they're not, it's just the deck itself is not amazing. Crew is very hard. It's hard to get a good deck out of Crew, because everything kind of just, there's not enough. But you get these super good cards out of this deck. You got Emry, Drumbeller, and Mirage Mirror. Especially these two are good. This is like, if you want to make another commander deck, you would make it off Emry instead. Why is that upside down? Okay, Parhelion 2, Shram. I think that's about it. Yeah, these are definitely the best cards in the deck. So I would say Shoreikai is probably my weakest deck. It's that or my Tibalt deck. And the card itself, really good. The deck, like I said, not amazing as a deck. Cards individually, very, very good. Parhelion 2 it's probably the best crew. It's the best crew thing that you have in here. Emry and Shram, those can be like their own, those can be like their own decks. Like own commander decks. You take those out, you make them a commander deck. Drumbeller, amazing card. It could be utilized a lot better in like this. If there was tokens, this would be good. And if there was like, I'm trying to think, like tap, do something, put a land onto the battlefield, something like that, or untap a land, or blah 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 blah. Mirage Mirror, super well. Depends on your opponent's decks, but I'm not going to go too in depth into this deck because I just don't think it's worth it. I would not, unless you just want the cards that are in the deck, I would not recommend buying this precon. I don't think it's that good. It's hot up here. Let me go turn on the fans real quick.